little students, today's agenda is to go over your homework, and we're gonna continue with system of equations, and your assignment is 5.3. But today, students will be able to manipulate equations to write them in y equals mx plus b form, and the reason is because later on you will be needing this. Okay. So if you have a system of equations, for example, 2y plus x equals 3 and y plus 2x equals 6. This is a system of equations. We have two lines, and if we were to graph them, they might meet at one point at all the points, or they might not meet at all. And later on, we're going to figure out where they two meet. But for now, we're just going to manipulate the equations to write them in y equals mx plus b, meaning in the slope-intercept form. Okay? So what that means is leave y by itself, and your term for x and the constant number are going to be on the other side of the equal sign. Okay? So isolate y basically. So let's get the first equation. And to leave y by itself, you cannot get rid of whatever you're multiplying by until you get rid of the other terms. So we're going to cancel x by subtracting. So if we're adding x, we subtract x. And so we have 2y equals. Now in here, one of the problems that I have seen in the past is that they say 3 minus x is 2. And no, this has no x, no variable, and this has variable. So basically you cannot put these two terms together. You just copy the two terms down here, okay? Individually, you just bring them down. Now, another thing that I get asked is about, can I change it? Can I have the 3 first and then minus x? Yeah, it would be correct. However, conventionally, you will have the constant number on the right, okay, until the end. Okay, another thing that we're doing here to isolate the y, we're multiplying, so the opposite is going to be to divide by 2. So even if it doesn't have a little dot in there to mean multiplication, we still need to know that a number together with a variable means multiplication. And so that will give the name of this number a coefficient. The coefficient is the number next to the variable. And so my y is equals to negative x divided by 2 is negative 1/2 of x. And then in here, we would put positive 3 divided by 2. You can just leave it as plus 3/2, or you can simplify it if you want as negative 1/2 x plus 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Okay, so this will be the first equation. Now let's do the second equation. And I think I'm going to do it here. I should have done this one here. So y plus, let's see, y plus 2x is equals to 6. So to leave y by itself, I'm going to get rid of this term. So subtract 2x, and this helps me because I'm going to cancel that. And so y is going to be equals to, can we combine these terms? Are they like terms? No, because one doesn't have a variable. So I'm just going to bring down the negative 2x and the positive 6 in here. Since I don't have a coefficient, I don't have to divide, and y is already isolated, so it's already in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so this will be the answers. This is for the first one. This is for the second one. But these are my two equations, okay, in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, let's do another set. Okay, so let's do the first one first. And so in here, I'm going to get rid of the x. Remember, the one that we need to isolate is the y, so we need to get rid of the x term. Okay, and if we're adding, then we need to subtract to get rid of it. And so y is going to be equals, again, this cannot be combined because this has no variable. And so it's going to be negative x plus 4. Since we don't have a coefficient, we don't need to divide, so that's it for the first equation. Now for the second one, we need to get rid of whatever is being added to the y, so it's going to be subtract 2x from both sides. That cancels, and so y is equals to, again, we cannot combine them. Don't say negative 4x, okay, because they cannot be combined. So we write the x term first and the constant last. Remember that if you switch them, it would not be incorrect. Okay, it's just not conventionally or traditionally, it's not written that way. Okay, so that's for the first one and that's for the second one. Okay, let's do a third set. Okay, so let's do the first one. X minus y is equals to 6. We get rid of the x by subtracting x, because that way x minus x is 0. And so I end up with, careful, some people just say y equals. No, this negative belongs to the y, so we need to keep that in there. Negative y equals negative x plus 6. And some people might say, oh, I'm done because y is by itself. But no, we cannot have a negative variable in here. So we're going to divide by -1 both sides to change that negative. And so negative divided by negative becomes positive y. Negative divided by negative becomes positive x. And positive divided by negative is -6. Okay, so this can seem easy, but remember that it can be tricky if we don't remember that that negative belongs to the y and that we cannot leave a negative variable for the y. Okay? Okay, for the second one, y equals 5x plus 3. Well, the goal is to leave y by itself, and as you can see, y is already by itself, so guess what? You're done. Okay, so this is what you're going to be doing today, just manipulating the equation, and that's it. I hope you can now work on 5.3. Thank you.